back to the files, I guess, important aspect is what it shows is obviously we're talking about the kid stuff, the disturbingness, but the reason it's done, or one of the reasons it's done, is so they have absolute blackmail on our presidents and people in charge. If they have something this sick on camera, they own you.
They own you. They absolutely own you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I went over to Guatemala and I came back with the thumb drives and the offshore bank accounts of Ambassador Todd Robinson, and I think I broke that story and I talked about it on your show before, but, you know, Todd Robinson was throwing these Diddy style freak offs at his house. And this is from declassified internal reports that were ordered by the president of Guatemala. So the president of Guatemala orders an intel report by his version of the Secret Service into this attorney general or this ambassador of Guatemala. And he was throwing Diddy style freak offs where a 12-year-old boy was sexually abused so bad that he was hospitalized. And the last time the people in Guatemala or the authorities ever saw that child's mother or the son was when they filed a police report at the hospital that night. They've never been seen alive again. Rumor is that they're in Costa Rica getting $5,000 a month from Todd Robinson to stay off the books, but that can't be
They're probably
confirmed.
they're probably murdered, or they could be
A
getting
hundred
paid. But I
percent.
would say more likely murdered when you see all these people disappearing, killing FBI agents. All like that girl went viral again. That video of the girl being like, they eat people,
Mhm.
cannibalistics, and we're like, oh, crazy lady. Then she like goes missing right after one of these elite parties. So when you hear the same story hundreds of times, by itself, it just sounds so outlandish and insane. Like one girl said she was kidnapped and woke up and was raped by Jay Z. I think it was Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Pusher T, and what's the guy? William Barr. That just sounds so outlandish by itself. But then you look though, those people are all connected and they have a pattern. Could you imagine trying to explain that story without the whole Epstein files in front of you, being like, yeah, I was kidnapped and woke up and raped by Jay Z, Harvey Weinstein, William Barr, and Epstein? People would be like, you're insane. But
You're
now you
insane.
look at it and be like, oh. And William Barr's father hired Jeffrey Epstein, and you probably know he wrote a book about like some kind of aliens that kidnapped, I think like tortured it was the human species and bred them. I think Epstein was like doing weird breeding projects and cloning and shit too.
You know, it's funny when you talk about the Island Boys, right? And you see them. Remember where the Island Boys,
Yeah,
and you're
the
looking at them and
Island
you see the kids,
Boys.
and then you see the
That
photo of those
picture,
two twins with Epstein, and you're like,
it's creepy. I look
how
at
about
that and I'm like,
Mandani? How about the photo of little baby Mandani and Mandani's mother on Epstein's island? I don't
isn't
know if
that
that
crazy?
every day,
I
every time
I
I
think
look at
that's
one,
real
I'm
too.
waiting.
I'm almost certain that's right. No, I try fact checking all this stuff, and it's like almost all of it's been real. There's been a few fake things that have slid out, I think, but it's vast. Almost all of it's been real. It's just insane. It's
And
just it's
community
one big
notes,
club, and you're not in it, as the saying
you ain't in
goes.
it. George Carlin was over the target on that one. That's probably one of the most
Right?
famous clips of all
Yeah.
time at this
It's
point.
one big club, and you ain't in it. It's he nailed it on that. And Donnie,
And
who's supposedly anti-Zionist, hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein.
yup,
It's all of them.
exactly. And it's all of them. And he's thick as thieves with not just Epstein. He's thick as thieves with almost every single person on the Epstein files. Just look at his administration. Look at the Fed chair that he just nominated. Right? Like I mean,
He's dual
and
citizen,
last
also all over the Epstein files.
and you know, and I keep going back to X in the community notes on these files because you guys remember when the first one batch dropped, every time that we would get something wrong, I mean, it was pretty community noted, like, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
has been already debunked. You know, the story with the 12 Trump and the 13-year-old girl in the lake and the abortion, like that was debunked pretty quick, right? So I keep checking back on these stories, like the Mandani one, and I'm not seeing the
Mm-hmm.
community notes. It's been out there long enough. If there was a community note, I think it would have been hit by
Yeah,
now.
and I'll try run it through AI to ask if it's in the files. That'll typically check out and they can find it for you. I've been trying that to be like,
No, I
hey,
haven't
is
tried
this
that yet.
file in the file? Because I've been doing that and that's been pretty effective. Not AI is not always 100% accurate, but typically, it could be, hey, can you find this file? Is this file actually in the because it's important, like I said. And there's pictures of him with little girls. It's just so outlandish. There's so much shit where there's no way we're gonna cover it all right now, but it's just so much stuff. Links after the war in Ukraine, talking about we basically there's a color revolution in Ukraine where we overthrew the government in 2014. I think it was a combination of CIA, George Soros, and there's some kind of emails with him and I think some Rothschild talking about we can utilize this to make money and cause turmoil. And makes me think they're probably the ones leading to the war in
Oh,
Ukraine because the war in Ukraine doesn't really make sense.
no,
Zelensky
and
also a dual citizen with Ukraine and Israel.
always it always seems to revolve
President
around
of Mexico, the president of Mexico. Like how many Jewish people are in Mexico? Not very
like
many.
probably like a few thousand, ten
Yeah,
thousand.
I think like 40, 50,000 Jewish people. They're like devout Catholics, right? Like extreme. And then they voted in a Jewish girl for president. And I think maybe 30 people are killed that are running
35.
against her. 35.
Not just against her. There's 35 politicians total killed in that election cycle, but yeah, it was
Yeah. Javier Milei in
Milei.
Argentina.
Yep,
He
Milei.
gets there and it turns out, oh, you're part of Chabad Lubavitch, which is that crazy Jewish organization. That's the one the tunnelers, the guys that came in the tunnels in New York. But that's one of the most powerful organizations in the world. Trump goes there, like all the former presidents, Putin. That place holds extreme power, and they believe that our souls aren't Jewish souls are divine. Our souls aren't. We're barely
100%.
human. And
We're
this,
we're not.
how,
We're goyim. We are. We're beyond. It's
that's
like
like
that.
the N word. We're all N words. To them. It's just like goyim. They're the only race that have a racist word for everyone. It's like we're all just trash, goyim. And that's a good point you bring up. They mentioned multiple times in the files. They're talking about let's have this Jewish only. They're constantly bashing the goyim, talking about how stupid we are, how they can control us, which they do control us. It does kind of show, but we just allow it. But they clearly there's a hatred for us amongst these elites. Not saying all Jews feel this way, obviously, but like this group of them have a massive hatred for us. The girls said the same thing, how they were abused, called stupid white girls. They would never be important. They're not Jewish.
Yeah, my buddy Ian had a great saying. He says, it's not all of them, but it's always them, right?